Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 233 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin's eyes became cold. When the heavenly chop flew out, he raised the celestial sword and used 10 more heavenly chops that chased closely behind the first 10. With a bang, the celestial curtain trembled and cracked. Immediately after, a second heavenly chop arrived and the celestial curtain shattered. Wang Lin threw the celestial sword and shouted, "Stop!" The celestial sword was too fast and shot out like lightning. The black-robed man frowned as he had already arrived above the celestial ceiling stamp. He lifted his right hand and was about to grab the celestial sword. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin's "stop" echoed like thunder. The black-robed man's head was normal, but his bone hand paused. At this instant, the celestial sword flashed by and severed his entire right arm. When his right arm was detached from his body, it mysteriously turned into bone dust and dissipated in the void. Wang Lin's timing was extremely accurate. If it wasn't for the fact that the celestial sword was so close, then even with the stop spell, it wouldn't be effective because the spell couldn't stop the black-robed man for long. However, right now it was very different. The black-robed man was startled and looked at this empty right arm. His eyes revealed unimaginable anger. This anger made him release powerful killing intent. I have been protecting this place for countless years and have finally managed to recover my skeleton. You dare to destroy my right arm? That black-robed man seemed to have gone crazy. He gave up on the celestial ceiling stamp and charged toward Wang Lin. While he flew, his expression was extremely hideous. He raised his remaining left hand and his fingers formed a sword that sliced at Wang Lin. Cracking sounds came from the dark void and a crack appeared. Wang Lin revealed a cold gaze as he raised his hand into the air and shouted, "Call the wind." The origin energy in his body quickly surged, but he didn't have time to worry about consumption. A black wind appeared in his hand as it quickly spread and formed a violent gust of black wind. Waves of cold wind spread out as the black wind charged toward the black-robed man. The black-robed man's eyes were filled with shock. This time the shock was several times stronger than when he saw Wang Lin with his master's treasure. The Celestial Emperor's spell, "Call the Wind." "You? Who the hell are you?" The black-robed man's expression changed greatly. He was very clear on how powerful Call the Wind was. That spell was a nightmare for him back then. He clearly remembered that he had violated a celestial law. Although his master pleaded for him, Celestial Emperor Bai Fan still casted one spell. The Emperor said that if he could survive the spell, he would be spared. Back then, the spell Celestial Emperor Bai Fan used was called the Wind. Under Call the Wind, his entire body collapsed, even his bones dissipated. If it wasn't for the fact that his master, Master Carefree, had acted, not even his skull would have been saved. After that, he was sent here by Master Carefree to guard this coffin. Only through this large formation and countless years of cultivation was he finally able to expel Call the Wind to reform his skeleton. At this moment, he saw this spell once more and was scared out of his wits. He quickly retreated, opened his mouth without hesitation, and spat out an object. This was a blue core, and the moment it appeared, it dyed everything blue. The black-robed man shouted once more, "What is your relation with Celestial Emperor Bai Fan?" The blue core before him gave off a gentle glow, making it so he wasn't injured by the black wind. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with killing intent. He didn't speak as he took a step forward and the black wind roared. Right now it was as if Wang Lin had become one with the black wind. He arrived next to the black-robed man and the black wind moved with Wang Lin's hand. The black-robed man's expression turned pale and he retreated once more. The blue light around him dimmed, but his eyes narrowed. He let out a roar and both of his hands pushed forward. The blue core began to rotate, emitting bursts of blue light. It was like a vortex that sucked in the incoming black wind. This person's Call the Wind isn't strong, but I can't let a trace of it touch me. Otherwise, it will activate the remnants of the Call the Wind law in my body. Call the Wind was too vicious. Once it enters the body, it is almost impossible to expel. If he let it enter him once more, it would immediately cause the injuries from back then to erupt. Damn it, how could this person know call the wind? I'll have to rely on the treasure master gifted me. The black-robed man was extremely gloomy. As the blue core resisted the black wind, he quickly retreated. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at the black-robed man. He took out the god-slaying war chariot without any hesitation. There was a flash of 5-colored light and a 5-colored butterfly appeared. After the butterfly appeared, its wings fluttered slightly. 5-colored powder scattered everywhere, it looked very beautiful. At the moment the butterfly appeared, Wang Lin's hand formed a seal and pointed at the retreating black-robed man. The butterfly immediately flew forward and flapped its wings. Just at this instant, the retreating black-robed man's body trembled and his eyes became filled with terror. His left bone arm exploded into grey dust and formed a grey butterfly. After this butterfly appeared, it flapped its wings. The black-robed man's face was extremely pale and his body quickly retreated. His feet bones immediately collapsed and his eyes filled up with shock. Seeing that the butterfly was about to flap its wings once more, he exploded the lower half of his body. Using the power of the explosion, he instantly pushed himself far away and arrived above the coffin at the center of the formation. When the upper half of his body entered the formation, a large amount of black gas came from the blood-colored formation. This caused his lower half to quickly reappear in an illusory state. At this moment, the butterfly's wings flapped once more and the lower half of the black-robed man that had just formed collapsed. However, the next moment, more black gas came out, allowing him to reform his lower half once more. This continued. The black gas from the large formation no longer went into the coffin but into his lower half. After condensing for a long time, it was as if his lower half contained flesh and blood. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he charged forward and raised his hand, using Call the Wind once more. His origin energy was a bit lacking to use it twice in a row. Although his face was a bit pale, he was filled with killing intent. It was obvious that if he didn't kill this person, he wouldn't be able to leave. The black wind charged forward toward the formation. The black-robed man's expression changed greatly and he was about to dodge. At this moment, the butterfly flapped only its left wing. The black-robed man's illusory body immediately collapsed. Even his black robe completely dissipated. The only thing that remained was his head in the air. The terror in his eyes had reached a limit. Break the law. This is a treasure that can break the law. The black-robed man had lost his wit and he didn't hesitate to retreat. However, at this moment, the black wind had arrived to devour him. The black-robed man's eyes were filled with despair. If he was at the peak of his cultivation, he was confident he would be able to resist this, even if the enemy had a treasure that could break the law. If he had his body, he was confident he could instantly kill Wang Lin without letting him use that treasure. If it wasn't for the fact that I was injured by Fans Call the Wind, I wouldn't have to be so afraid of this incomplete Call the Wind. I'm not willing to let it end like this. The black-robed man's eyes were filled with hatred. The moment the black wind swallowed him, he blew out a large mouthful of air. This was his essence origin energy. He blew it out without hesitation and it collided with the black wind. He borrowed this force, allowing his skull to quickly retreat. His eyes revealed a decisive gaze and he clenched his teeth. He retreated next to the coffin and muttered, "Master, it isn't Disciple not keeping his promise, but if I don't open this coffin, Disciple will without a doubt die." As he spoke, his head slammed into the coffin and the lid was opened. The moment the coffin opened, the flesh of the young man inside began to dissipate. It was as if it would collapse the moment it came in contact with the outside world. A moment later, it had completely dissipated and nothing remained inside the coffin. Long Daozi, you broke the celestial law and was punished by the celestial emperor. Not even Master can save you. I can only save your skull and seal your origin soul inside to guard this coffin. Your master has foreseen a great catastrophe for the celestial realm, so leaving here might be a blessing. This coffin is a treasure from the ancient celestial realm. Your master obtained it after going through many dangers. It is called the heaven-avoiding coffin. You should know that before your master became a celestial, I had a son. Your master owes him too much and could only take a trace of his soul. When I became a celestial, I gave up all my cultivation time and opportunities to find this heaven-avoiding coffin. I placed his soul fragment inside so that one day he can reform his body and awaken. When he awakens, you will recognize him as your master and you will never betray him. At the same time, you can borrow this coffin to reform your body and recover your cultivation. His master's voice from back then echoed inside the black-robed man's skull when he went inside the coffin. Master, don't blame me, the black-robed man revealed a decisive gaze. The moment his head fell in the coffin, the lid automatically flew over and closed the coffin. Then the coffin shined brightly and flew out from the formation. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. The scene before him shocked him. He clearly saw the youth inside the coffin disappear. Then he saw that as soon as the black-robed man's head fell into the coffin, his body began condensing rapidly. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed and his hand formed a seal without hesitation. The butterfly flew under Wang Lin and carried him. His left hand reached out and the celestial sealing stamp immediately flew after the coffin. Ta Shan flickered as he disappeared into Wang Lin's shadow. Wang Lin's eyes were cold as he chased after the coffin. What kind of treasure is this that allows one's body to reform? Inside the crystal coffin, Long Dao's body quickly condensed. The feeling of having flesh was something he hadn't felt for countless years. His eyes became cold and he had a grin as he muttered, Master, Long Daozi, didn't have a body for the countless years I've been guarding your son. It turned out that I only had to lie here for a moment to recover my body. If that was the case, why did you make me suffer such pain? Were you worried that I would not guard it for you after I recovered my body? I felt guilty before, but now I know. Long Daozi, have always been grateful that you saved me, and because of our master and pupil relationship, I would rather suffer pain for countless years than have any ideas about the coffin. However, now I know how ridiculous my thoughts were. Inside the coffin, Long Daozi mercilessly clenched his fist and popping sounds came from inside his body like bones colliding. This was a very comfortable feeling, and he could clearly feel his cultivation recovering at an unimaginable speed. From between Corporeal Yang and Nirvana Scryer, which was rank 1 Sky Celestial, he steadily reached the early stage of Nirvana Scryer, which was rank 3 Sky Celestial. Master Carefree, you cheated me good. Long Dao's eyes were filled with killing intent as his cultivation exploded. It rose up to rank 6 Sky Celestial, and it wasn't stopping. While Wang Lin was pursuing, his expression changed slightly. He could feel that the fluctuations of celestial spiritual energy from inside the coffin were getting stronger and stronger. What kind of treasure is this? Wang Lin sucked in a breath of cold air and his eyes were filled with shock. As Long Daozi smiled, celestial origin energy surged and he quickly reached rank 9 Sky Celestial. That was his peak cultivation level back in the celestial realm. This didn't stop. When his cultivation reached rank 9 Sky Celestial, his cultivation level exploded past the barrier of Sky Celestial and underwent an unimaginable change. Long Dao's eyes shined so brightly that they seemed like they would penetrate the coffin. His cultivation had broken through Sky Celestial and reached Celestial King. Rank 3 Celestial King. Master Carefree, you are only a rank 9 Celestial King. Now I, Long Daozi, am also a Celestial King. Once I kill this junior and take his treasure, as long as I don't go to the celestial realm, you will never find me in this big world. Long Daozi laughed as he raised his hand and pressed against the lid of the coffin. The lid flew out and Long Daozi walked out. Wang Lin immediately stopped and his expression was extremely gloomy. However, his eyes narrowed as he looked ahead. He saw that had Long Daozi charged out of the coffin laughing. A powerful aura spread out from Long Daozi. Although it was not as strong as the blood ancestors, it was still very strong. It was as if there was a powerful celestial storm in the area and that person was at the center. Junior, die? As Long Daozi laughed like crazy, he took a step forward. However, just at this moment, a drastic change occurred. His foot silently dissipated the moment he raised it. Then both of his legs and arms shattered. This scene was exactly the same as how that youth disappeared when he opened the coffin. How could it be? Impossible. Long Dao's was frozen in place as he lowered his head. However, he couldn't see his body, as everything had shattered. Even his head began to become blurry as if it was going to turn into countless fragments and disappear in the void. Long Dao's eyes were filled with fear. It was as if he had gone insane, and he shouted hysterically, "Why is it like this? Master, why is it like this?" Long Daozi roared at the sky, "Master, I have protected your son for countless years. Why do you want to kill me? You once said that as long as there is a sliver of soul, this coffin can help it reform. I used it to recover my body, so why has it collapsed? Why? Master Carefree, if it wasn't for me helping you find clues for the heaven-avoiding coffin, how could I have broken the celestial law? Yet you treat me like this. I fear that if I had listened to you and entered the coffin after your son awakened, the result would have been the same. You wanted to kill me." Long Dao's head gradually dissipated. His origin soul also collapsed and became part of the void. Like dust returning to dust and earth returning to earth. However, there was a powerful sense of resentment that lingered in the void. This resentment had been brewing inside Long Daozi for countless years, ever since the celestial realm collapsed and finally erupted now. This resentment was powerful beyond imagination. If it was not dispelled, it would exist for eternality. Perhaps after countless years pass, new life can be born from this resentment. Wang Lin witnessed all of this. After silently pondering for a moment, he pointed at the sky and said, "Dao forms underworld river." An underworld river appeared. It was as if the resentment had found an outlet and it had rushed into the underworld river. The resentment fused with the resentment inside the underworld river and continued to grow stronger. After the time it took for one incense stick to burn, all of the resentment had been absorbed. When Wang Lin turned around, the underworld river disappeared. Wang Lin grabbed the coffin. His eyes were very serious as he carefully looked at the coffin and began to ponder. This object can help nourish the soul and recover the flesh, but one can't come out. Once the person leaves, they will disappear into nothing. If that is not the case, then coffin must have been used improperly. Wang Lin silently pondered for a moment before putting away the coffin with a sigh and leaving. When he saw the coffin, he thought of Li Muwen. Planet Dong Lin. With my current cultivation, I should be able to take a look. Wang Lin's eyes shined brightly. In addition to avoiding the All-Seer, he came to the All-Heaven star system to look for the Xiong family on planet Dong Lin to find a way to revive Li Muwen. Wang Lin would never forget the shock and impulse he felt when the woman talked about awakening Li Muwen in the tide abyss. At that instant, the impulse that appeared inside his body could collapse the heavens and earth. It was as if tens of thousands bolts of thunder had struck his body. No matter whether it was true or false, he had to take a trip to the Xiong family's home on planet Dong Lin. No matter how difficult, no matter how dangerous, Wang Lin would choose to face it all. There were some things in life that no matter how dangerous or difficult, you had to do. At the western part of the All-Heaven star system, deep within the strange domain. No one had been here for a very long time. It was as if this place was a forbidden zone. It was filled with grey fog to the point that you couldn't even see past 100 feet. The fog seemed to slowly drift as if it would last for an eternity. The surroundings were extremely quiet without any sound. In the depths of the strange domain, it was completely covered by endless fog. On this day, there was a slight fluctuation inside the fog. At first it was weak, but soon it became violent. The fog churned as if there was a large monster moving inside. If one looked from above, they would clearly see the fog within hundreds of thousands of kilometers violently churn and move in all directions. As the fog dispersed, one would see a whale-like monster moving inside the fog. It was very big, at least tens of thousands of kilometers long. When its body moved, all of the grey fog around it would churn. Its head had no eyes, only a large, open mouth. The moment its mouth opened, it spewed out a large amount of grey fog. At the moment the mouth opened, a formation flashed. A person walked out from the formation, and more people appeared behind him. The first person was wearing green robes. Although he looked like a youth, he had a rich, ancient aura to him. It was as if a 1,000-year-old man was living inside the body of a young man. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a trace of confusion. The moment he appeared, he was immediately pushed forward by the fog. Behind him, the members of the chosen immortal clan came out with fear of the new world. They followed closely after Wang Lin. Wang Lin was pushed by the fog. When he stepped out, he turned around and saw the unimaginably large beast. It really was the nether beast from the ancient god Two-Size Memories. This beast has been around since the time of the ancient gods and its origin is unknown. This beast has no offensive capabilities and is extremely timid. However, there is something mysterious about its body. It's as if it contains another world. The world inside is far larger than its body. I didn't expect something from Two-Size Memories to still exist. Wang Lin looked at the nether beast and let out a sigh. This beast also noticed Wang Lin and company. It slowly closed its mouth before slowly backing away and disappearing. Aside from the churning mist, it was impossible to see its figure. Wang Lin had disappeared for more than half a year and had once more appeared in the All-Heaven star system. At this moment, two heaven-shattering events that shocked all of the cultivators had occurred. One of them had its spear directly pointed at Wang Lin. The Thunder Celestial Temple had issued an all-heaven decree to call all cultivation families to gather at the Thunder Celestial Temple to enter the Alliance star system. This news was like a storm that swept across the all-heaven star system and set off many waves. In the countless years after the four celestial realms collapsed and the passages connecting the four systems were blocked, the four great star systems had no contact with each other. Aside from using some very precious treasures that could just barely open the passage for one or two cultivators to pass, there had never been such a large-scale operation like now. In the eyes of the cultivators of the All-Heaven star system, the Alliance star system was a remote place. However, there were all kinds of rumors from cultivators that had gone and came back from there. Rumor had it that the Alliance star system had no cultivation families. Instead, there were sects. Rumor had it that the Alliance star system had rank 1 to 9 cultivation countries. It was very different from the All-Heaven star system. Rumor had it that the Alliance star system had many magical treasures and countless pills. Every sect was like a treasure chest and every cultivation planet was like a treasure trove. Rumor had it that in the Alliance star system, the strongest power was the Cultivation Alliance. Rumor had it that in the Alliance star system, the cultivators were extremely bloodthirsty. They were used to fighting and were like devils. All kinds of rumors caused the cultivators in the All-Heaven star system to have all kinds of different images of the Alliance star system. Some of the cultivation families were very interested and filled with desire to battle. However, there were some cultivations families that didn't agree and still hesitated. But with the push of the Thunder Celestial Temple, invading the Alliance star system was already a foregone conclusion. More importantly, the Thunder Celestial Temple's unprecedented action had gained support from the two powerful families that had been around since the ancient cultivation world. These two families were the most powerful forces around aside from the one family from primal times. Both families had power no weaker than the Thunder Celestial Temple. One of those families was Planet Dong Lin's Xiong family. It wasn't the Thunder Celestial Temple that went looking for them, but the Xiong family that went to them. The Xiong family strongly supported this and had even pulled the other family into this matter. Under the pressure of these three great powers, how would the rest of the cultivation families dare to not listen? As a result, a vigorous storm of preparations set off in the All-Heaven star system. Each family was preparing for the moment the passage would open. For this battle, the three major powers made a speech. If anyone made an exploit, the cultivation planet they conquered would immediately be bestowed to them. This promise tempted the families of the All-Heaven star system. After all, no one likes sharing a cultivation planet, but all of the planets with spiritual energy had been taken. If one wanted their own cultivation planet, they would have to steal it from the Alliance star system. In addition, in order to get all the cultivation families ready, the Thunder Celestial Temple took out various pills and magical weapons. They even took out celestial spells and created quite a scene. The Thunder Celestial Temple and the two families are going to grant celestial titles. This is the first time such a large-scale granting happened since the Thunder Celestial Realm collapsed. There will be 36 heavenly dippers and 72 earth fiends for a total of 108 people. Everyone who has a celestial title will have status above messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple and will be admired by all cultivators in the All-Heaven star system. They will even become a leader in the battle against the Alliance star system. If that was all there was to it, it wouldn't have been a big deal. After all, not everyone liked reputation. However, the Thunder Celestial Temple had obviously thought of this, so they added something else to increase the stakes. The Thunder Celestial Temple announced that all the people granted celestial titles will be personally taught a celestial spell by Celestial Lord Qing Shui. This was a piece of news that almost caused the storm to collapse. A Celestial Lord. A Celestial Lord. There was still a Celestial Lord alive. The entire All-Heaven star system reached a boiling point. All of the cultivation families that were originally not interested changed their minds. They mobilized their elites to steal a spot. At the same time, the Thunder Celestial Temple announced that the two cultivation families said that the 36 heavenly dippers could make a request. The Thunder Celestial Temple and the two families would do their best to grant their request. The frenzy of promoting the celestial titles had reached a peak in the All-Heaven star system, and it allowed the Thunder Celestial Temple to gather all the power in the All-Heaven system together. But then the most mysterious cultivation family from primal time sent out a message that ignited the entire All-Heaven star system and caused all the cultivators' determination to reach a peak. The granting of celestial titles could almost be compared to the celestial granting done by the celestial realm. There was only one line in this message. The 108 people granted celestial titles can enter the celestial pool to change their origin into celestial origin and become a true celestial. The difference between celestials and current cultivators was that they didn't only have origin energy. Instead, they had an energy that was an integration of celestial spiritual energy and origin energy, celestial origin energy. No matter how powerful a celestial spell was, there was a limit when used with origin energy. However, if celestial origin energy was used, its true power could be displayed. Even celestial treasures were like this. The storm had set off, the flame of war had ignited, and everyone was waiting on the passage to open. Just as the storm of preparation and flames of war spread across the All-Heaven star system, another shocking piece of news spread across the system. The Yao family, a family that was just below the two cultivation families from ancient times, sent out a heaven order. When the heaven order appears, slaughter awaits. The Yao family was the most powerful family among the four families that had inheritance from the celestial realm. They could even be compared to the two cultivation families from ancient times, and they even looked down upon the Thunder Celestial Temple. In the countless years after the celestial realm had collapsed, the Yao family had sent out its heaven order 3 times. Every time it was sent, there was a lot of bloodshed, and it wouldn't stop until the target was dead. At the present, while a storm was set off in the All-Heaven star system, the Yao family's 4th heaven order was issued. This time there was only one name on the order. Shumu. This name was not only not unknown, it was an extremely famous name. Among all the news of the celestial titles, Shumu was one that most people thought would obtain a title. The people that were saved by Shumu and their families were all advocates for his name. In particular, those that were rescued by him all showed their respect and gratitude to Shumu when talking about him. The popularity of Shumu gradually exploded, and he became one of the few that were famous in all 4 domains of the All-Heaven star system. And at this moment, the Yao family's heaven order only had one name. It was self-evident that the Yao family wanted to kill Shumu. No matter how strong Shumu was, very few people believed that he could survive the assault of the Yao family. Once the heaven order was sent, Shumu would die. Only a few select people, such as Shen Gonghu and Zhong Konglai, sneered. In their eyes, the Yao family didn't have the qualifications to battle their lord. The Yao family had sent out a large amount of family members and many related families like a net across the All-Heaven star system to ensure they find Shumu. As the preparations for the celestial titles went on, the Yao family's search for Shumu reached an unprecedented peak. The appearance of the Yao family's heaven order and a large search caused the name, Shumu, to reach an even higher prestige. However, most cultivators believed that this name would be short-lived as his life would end soon. Even the people saved by Wang Lin became silent. It wasn't that they didn't want to help, but they all had their own families and they couldn't resist the Yao family. However, as the Yao family searched, Xu Mu had disappeared. No one could find him, as if he had disappeared from the All-Heaven Star system. At this moment, Wang Lin was flying through the strange domain. There was only grey fog before Wang Lin, but that couldn't stop him at all. Behind him, the chosen Immortal clan members were completely calm. The months of flying in the fog had caused their mentality to undergo a series of evolutions. The confusion from the start had disappeared and was replaced with decisiveness and killing intent. During the few months they followed Wang Lin in the fog, they saw and fought many fierce beasts. Although their numbers had reduced, their killing aura gradually thickened. At this moment, the members of the chosen Immortal clan were like slaughter gods closely following Wang Lin. Amidst their ranks were women and children, but the weak expressions had disappeared from them as well. If they could charge out, they would live. If they couldn't, then they would only be devoured by the beasts here. Thanks to these bloody battles, the Celestial Immortal clan quickly grew up. There were shadows of Wang Lin among them. After all, for these simple people, Wang Lin was the only example they could learn from. After spending months with them, even Wang Lin had to admit that the chosen Immortal clan was gifted and intelligent. They had good cultivation roots, and their ability to imitate was a bit scary. In just a few months of interactions in the fog, these people had learned Wang Lin resolution, Wang Lin's calm, and also Wang Lin's killing intent. Oftentimes when they acted, they were very decisive and merciless. They used all kinds of tattoo spells in the fog to battle the beasts. What caused Wang Lin's eyes to narrow was that these people were very good at group attacks. Their group attacks were almost seamless and could multiply their strength. If it wasn't for the fact that they had to guard their women and children, they would be even more fierce. Wang Lin silently pondered as he wrapped the women and children of the chosen Immortal clan in his spell so they could move even faster. On this day, the fog before them faded and Wang Lin charged out. The members of the chosen Immortal clan charged out one by one. What appeared before them was a bright and starry sky. All-Heaven System Western Domain. When he looked at the stars, Wang Lin went into a trance. Right after what happened at the Thunder Celestial Realm, he was transferred into the Nether Beast. Seeing the stars again after all this made everything that had happened feel like a dream. All-Heaven Star System, I'm back. Now the first order of business is to find which domain this is. I must find a cultivation planet. Wang Lin muttered to himself as he took out a jade. This was the map Shengong Hu had given him. After looking at it for a bit, he put it back into his bag. Wang Lin looked back at the chosen Immortal clan members. Here is the All-Heaven Star System under the Thunder Celestial Domain. Since you arrived here, you are free. The chosen Immortal clan silently pondered for a while before looking at Wang Lin and saying, Benefactor, we are unfamiliar with this place. Do you happen to have a cultivation planet that could shelter us temporarily? Once we are familiar with this All-Heaven Star System, we will definitely leave. Wang Lin pondered slightly and nodded. Planet Qingling was very large and could fit these chosen Immortal clan members. He turned back around, took a step, and rushed forward like a meteor. The chosen Immortal clan members followed after him. There were hundreds of rays of light flying toward planet Qingling. Along the way, Wang Lin had his divine spread out, looking for cultivation planets. This place was extremely open, so it was very difficult to find a cultivation planet. After 10 days, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he locked onto a yellow planet in the distance. The spiritual energy fluctuations weren't very strong, but not weak either. As they flew, the fluctuations of their flight was so large that they spread everywhere, so they were detected by the cultivators from that yellow planet. As soon as Wang Lin closed in, 3 rays of light flew out from the yellow planet, revealing 3 people. Among the 3, one of them was a middle-aged man and the other 2 were old men. There were strong origin energy fluctuations from the 3 of them, clearly they were all at the illusory yin stage. When the 3 appeared, they had serious expressions. The middle-aged man looked at Wang Lin and calmly said, Fellow cultivator, you rushed over so quickly, I wonder what do you need? The other two's gazes swept across the chosen immortal clan behind Wang Lin. The more they saw, the more shocked they became. The people behind had no spiritual energy fluctuations at all. Instead, they possessed a mysterious force they had never seen before. Moreover, they could clearly feel killing intent from these people. This killing intent was very strong and was obviously built up from killing for a long period of time. More importantly, these people's expressions revealed a very cold aura. Their expressions didn't change in the slightest when facing the two of them, and they even contained a hint of killing intent. However, the other two felt it was strange that there were women and children among them. It made it hard for them to guess these people's background. Just at this moment, the middle-aged man finished speaking and carefully looked at Wang Lin. He felt as if he was hit by lightning and thought that Wang Lin's appearance was similar to the heaven order sent out by the Yao family. This video will end here.